सरस्वती नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्वेता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय, गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय, गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद जय जय, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhari, Radha Giridhari Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath Radhe. Jaya Radha Ras Bihari, Radha Ras Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Ras Bihari, Radha Ras Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Kunj Bihari, Radha Kunj Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Kunj Bihari, Radha Kunj Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Banke Bihari, Radha Banke Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Banke Bihari, Radha Banke Bihari Radhe. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. बोलो हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन, यमुना तीरवनचारी, यमुना तीरवनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, 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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत, नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया, भगवतीम् उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। Welcome everyone in Bhagavad Gita class. So last time we are at 8.24, 8th chapter, 24 sloka. So we had seen till 8.23 last time. So we'll recite the verses and then we'll discuss. 8.23 यत्र काले त्वना आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ. O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which passing away from this world the yogi does or does not come back. 8.24 अग्निर्ज्योतिरह शुक्लः षण्मासा उत्तरायणम् तत्र प्रयाता गच्छन्ति ब्रह्मविदो जनाः. Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fiery god. In the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. 8.25 धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनम् तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिर्योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. 8.26 शुक्ल कृष्णे गति ही एते जगतः शाश्वते मते एकया यात्य अनावृत्तिम अन्यया वर्तते पुनः. According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when he passes in darkness, he returns. 8.27 नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन् योगी मुह्यति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्तो भवार्जुन. All the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. 8.28 वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वम् इदं विदित्वा योगी परमं स्थानम् उपैति चाद्यम्. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not barefoot of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Welcome back once again in Bhagavad Gita class, everyone. So we are at 8.24. So last time we had discussed 8.23, that is yatra kale tva anavrittim avrittim chaiva yogina prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bharatarasabha. O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which, passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that there are certain times when yogi leaves his body so he can come or cannot come back again on this planet. So Lord Krishna is saying that Arjuna, oh my dear Arjuna, that there are some yogis are those who are true yogis. They can decide their timings when can they leave their body. So there are yogis, practitioners, there are different ways of living body and destinations. And accordingly, there are the Sadgati, Paramgati, accordingly the benediction is rewarded. So Lord Krishna explains how at different times living body yogi comes back or do not come back. So for devotees, for karma yogis, for jnana yogis, and for hatha yogis. So for karma yogis, jnana yogis, hatha yogis, there are different ways, and for devotees there are different ways. So devotees can leave their body at any time and they may not come back. So yogis and jnanis, they leave their body in light, etc. So they attain Brahma Jyoti. What is Brahma Jyoti? The effulgence of which is coming out from the bodies of Krishna. Karma Kandis, they leave their body in darkness, attain heavenly planet, and then return to earth. So they go to the heavenly planets, they live there for 10,000 years, according to the calculation of devatas number of years. They enjoy there for 10,000 years or more than 10,000 years. And once their punya is reduced to zero, again they are thrown to this earth planet. So chine punya martyalokam. Once the punya karma gone to zero, they again come back to the earth planet. So this is the this happens for karma kandis. And for yogis and gyanis, they are true yogis. They know how to leave the body, when to leave the body, at what is the auspicious time and what is the inauspicious time. So they can decide their timings, and they leave their body in light and they attain Brahma Jyoti. For karma kandis, they leave their body in darkness and they go to heavenly planets and they enjoy there till their punya karma is reduced to zero. And devotees are free. They have free will. They can leave their body at any time. So they can decide their own time, or they can leave their body in light, in darkness, irrespective of anything. Anything. It may be light, it may be darkness. So they can leave their body anytime, but they will attain to Krishna Loka. They will go to Golok Vrindavan Dham. So that is the difference between devotee, karma kandis, and yogis. So devotees are totally dependent on Krishna. They are totally dependent on Krishna. They have surrendered unto the lotus feet of Krishna. They know that Lord Krishna is supreme controller. They know that Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor. So being totally dependent on Krishna, so Krishna takes care of him. So the one who is dependent on Krishna Krishna is totally taking care of them, and they leave their body in any time at any particular time, and they go to the Krishna Lok Dham, Krishna Vrindavan Dham, Vaikuntha Dham. That is the Golok Vrindavan Dham. Then comes 8.24. So till 8.23 we had discussed last time. Today we start from 8.24. Agnir Shuklah Shanamasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Vido Janaha. So those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from this world during the influence of the fairy god. In the light, at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fourth night of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. Okay, so those who are yogis, they know the auspicious and inauspicious time. They have knowledge. So accordingly, they can decide their own timing when they can leave the body and they can attain to Brahma Jyoti. So auspicious time for yogis to leave the body is discussed in 8.24. So presiding deities make arrangements for the passage of the soul. So certain yogis, different kinds of yogis, they can worship moon god, sun god, Indra god, Brahmaji. So there are different deities they can worship, and they accordingly they can attain their lokas. So they have influence of fairy god, particular type of god, maybe Brahmaji, maybe Shivaji, Shivlok, Indraji, and different other demigods like other Saraswati and all these devatas, Ganeshji. They those who worship Ganeshji, they go to Ganesha Lok, Ganesha's planet. Okay, and in light. So yogi mostly leave their body in light during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. So that is a very auspicious time. That is Uttarayan. Uttarayan is supposed to be the auspicious time for leaving the body of the yogis. So yogis are well known, which is the time is good for them to leave this body. So they have the realization, they have the according to their mystic yoga, they have on control on their life, and they can decide their own time when they can leave the body. And they leave their body at an auspicious moment of the day during the fourth of the waxing moon. Okay, so if one leaves the body at the time of designated above, either accidentally or by arrangement. Okay, in these 5 things, that influence of fairy god in the light at an auspicious time of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, and during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. These are the 5 qualities. If one leaves, or one mystic yogis leave their body in this particular time, they can either accidentally or by arrangement, it is possible for him to attain the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. So mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the body. So they have the power, according to their mystic yoga, they have the power. So they can decide the particular time when they can leave the body. And those who are pure devotees, they are directly destined to a spiritual world, that is Golok Vrindavan Dham. So for pure devotees, no fear of returning again to this material planet, whether he leave the body at an auspicious time or inauspicious time. So devotees are basically exempted from this kind of conditions, whether it is the influence of fairy god is there or not, whether it is light or darkness, whether it is auspicious moment or not auspicious moment, whether it is fortnight of waxing moon or waning moon, whether it is sun travels in north or south. They are not bounded to this kind of conditions. Okay, so they can leave their body anytime. Why? Because they are dependent on Krishna. The one who is dependent on Krishna, Krishna is bound to take care of them. Okay, moment by accident or arrangement. So their death may be accident or arrangement. They are totally dependent on Krishna. So it is Krishna who will decide where they will go, and Krishna will take care of him, and they will go to the uh, Krishna Lok Dham or Golok Vrindavan Dham, whether the death is accidental or by arrangement. So this is there in the 8.24. So how to travel moon planet? Those who are worshipping moon god, they will travel to moon planet. So that is discussed in 8.25. धूमो रात्रिस्ततः कृष्णः षण्मासा दक्षिणायनं तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिर्योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. So those who are worshipping moon god, they will go to the moon planet. So how they can travel to moon planet? How to travel to moon planet? They during the night, during the smoke, 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, the fortnight of the waning moon. So these are the 4 things in which the one can travel to moon planet. So mystic who passes from this world but again comes back to earth. So they go to the moon planet in these 4 conditions. And what is the 4 conditions? During the smoke time, during the night time, 6 months when travels reaches to the southern planet, the 4th night of the waning moon. Okay, so this the mystics who passes from this world but again comes back to moon god. So they go to the moon god and they enjoy there for 10,000, more than 10,000 or more than 10,000 years. And once their punya is reduced to 0, they again come back to the earth planet. They are thrown back to the material world. So this is the benediction, you can say. So if you are going, even moon planet, even Swargaloka, all these part of material world only. So those who are in material world, they are bound to take birth and die again and again. So this is the cycle of death and birth. Okay, if you go to the Krishna Lok Dham, then you are beyond the birth and death cycle. Okay, so there is no birth and death in the Krishna Lok Dham or Golok Vrindavan Dham. So what is the eligibility? Lord Kapila explains in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the eligibility? One expert in fruitive acts, sacrificial methods. Their life duration is more than 10,000 years. Demigod's calculation. Engagement, somras, and other pleasures. So those who go to the mole planets, they enjoy with somras and other pleasures. And what is their fate? When credits finish, again they are thrown to the material planet or onto this earth. So this is the told by Lord Kapila, explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Then comes 8.26, Vedic opinion of 2 ways of living the body. Shukla Krishne gati hi ete jagatah saswate mate ekaya yatya anabrittim anyaya vartate punah. According to Vedic opinion, there are 2 ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when one passes in darkness, he returns. So there are 2 things told in this particular sloka, that one who passes in light never comes back, and one who passes in darkness, he surely comes back into this material world. So what is the Vedic opinion of 2 living this body? When passes in light, he doesn't come back, but when he passes in darkness, he returns. According to Baldev Vidyabhushan, he says those who are fruitive laborers and philosophical speculators from time immemorial, constantly going and coming, do not attain ultimate salvation, for they do not surrender to Krishna. Okay, they are just going onto the earthly planets or onto the moon god and sun god. They have done some seva, they have done some good things. Okay, so until and unless their Punya is reduced to zero, they enjoy there. For demigod calculations, maybe 10,000 years, and once their punya is reduced to zero, they again are thrown into this material planet. Then comes 8.27. 8.27. Nete sriti partha janan yogi muhyati kashana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. So devotees are at topmost point. They never give. They never give up. So they always chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Srila Prabhupada said that chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and be happy. That is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So devotees do not dwell in other paths. They don't believe, they don't have faith. They have faith only on Krishna. So they are totally dependent on Krishna. So the one who is dependent on Krishna, Krishna takes care of him. So what is the thing you have to do? You have to surrender totally onto the lotus feet of Krishna. So Krishna's feet is like lotus. It is like soft as lotus flower. So in this sloka, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that yoga yukta, to engage constantly in Krishna consciousness in all the activities. Whatever activities you are doing, X, Y, Z activity, keep in center always Krishna. So Krishna will be always in center in any activities. So if Krishna is there, it will not affected by goodness, passion, and ignorance. Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. It will be free from three modes of material nature. So we have to keep in mind that thing. So devotees do not dwell in other parts. By following Srila Rupa Goswami's Yukta Vairagya, one attains perfection. How one can attain perfection? By following the Yukta Vairagya. So if you are following the Vairagya path, it should be Yukta. Yukta means attached to Krishna. If it is not Yukta, then you will be attached to material world, material enjoyment. You will be wasting your time. So devotees do not worry about different paths and is undisturbed. Whatever XYZ path, lightness, darkness, whatever mystic yogis are following, they don't take care. They don't care about that. They don't bother about that. And they just fixed their mind on the Krishna consciousness, onto the lotus feet of Krishna, and they perform their devotional service regularly without taking any headache about the other paths. Why? Because they are firmly established in Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna. They will always chanting Hare Krishna. Kaliyug Kevala Namadhara means you have to just take the name of Krishna, no other sacrifice, no other yagya, nothing. You have to just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is the perfect way you can absorb in Krishna consciousness. Don't have to think anything. Just you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and listen. Hear it through your eyes. So Krishna will enter through your ears into your heart. So Bhakti in Srila Rupa Goswami has rightly said what is the appropriate renunciation. Okay, so renunciation from the material things. So you have to detach from the material things. You will be automatically attached to Krishna consciousness. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharaham upayunjatah nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate. So it is rightly mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.255. When one is not attached to anything, but at the same time accepts everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. Someone says that this is my property, this is my job, this is my money, this is my wife, this is my child, this is my son, this is my daughter. Okay, so everyone is attached to whatever they have. They don't understand this is all the mercy of Krishna only. You have all these things for enjoyment in this material world. So you can work your duty, you can perform your duty, you can perform your prescribed duty, but don't be attached. Okay, always take it as it is given by mercy of the Krishna. It's the all mercy of the Krishna. Krishna. So what is the principle of Yukta Vairagya? It is given in Bhakti Bhagavad Gita 6.15. युक्ताहार विहारस्य युक्तचेतस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नसु अबोधस्य योग भवति दुःखः योगो भवति दुःखः. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So you have to be absorbed in this yoga. What is this yoga? Chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and just hear it through your eyes. So this is one kind of meditation, one kind of attaching to Krishna. So if you are attached to Krishna, all the miseries will go away from you. And that too very, very far. You cannot imagine, you cannot find your miseries. Miseries will get lost automatically if you are taking Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly. So it is given in 8.27. Nete sriti partha janan yogi muhyati kashana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. So devotees are undeviated. They have unalloyed devotional service towards the God. Although there are many paths of devotion, but they will not take care of it. They will just follow by taking the name of Krishna, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra regularly, performing the devotional service. Devotional service like doing Mangalarti at 4:30 a.m. Then there are different kinds of artis happening in temple. They can do it at their home also. Okay, by association of the devotees, by associating with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, by discussing about Krishna consciousness, distributing the prasadam, donating for prasadam, distributing Srila Prabhupada's book. These are all part of devotional service. So you can attach yourself to these activities. So automatically, whatever activities you are performing in the material world, they will not affect you. They will never touch you. And your senses will be always engaged in the service of Krishna consciousness. This is very important. We have to understand the Yukta Vairagya concept given by Srila Rupa Goswami. And it is rightly mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.55. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharaham upayunjatah nirbandhah Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate. And it is also said in Bhagavad Gita 6.15. Yuktahara viharasya yuktachetasya karmasu yukta swapnava abodhasya yogo bhavati dukha. Okay, these are all examples are given in Bhagavad Gita and also instructed by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Then comes text number 8.28. Vedeshu yaggeshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam padishtam atyeti ati eti sat sarvam idam viditva yogi paramam sthanam upayati chadyam. So a person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bare feet of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these sacrifices or the benediction be given by these sacrifices. And at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. So, for the one who reaches its supreme eternal abode, he will never come back. He will be always enjoying there by taking the name of Krishna, by serving the Krishna directly in Golok Vrindavan Dham. Okay, so here devotional service is not bare fit of the results derived from other spiritual activities. So if you are reading the scriptures, if you are doing some other services, if you are performing austerities, if you are performing other sacrifices, you are giving charity, or you are working for any other fruitive activity. So if you are doing devotional service, it means you will get all the benedictions that you will get from performing by all these austerities and sacrifices. Okay. Studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. These are the different paths of devotional service. Okay. So, what is the path of Vedic literature? Purpose is gradual elevation on to perfectional stage. So, if you are studying Vedas, so you are also going to follow the Varnashram Dharma. What is the Varnashram Dharma? 4 Varna and 4 ashramas. What are the 4 Varna? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra. Okay, so, and what are the 4 ashramas? Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. So, these are the 4 Varna and 4 ashramas. So, Lord Krishna has gifted us this Varnashrama Dharma. So we can follow this Varnashrama Dharma in this material world and we can be liberated at the end of life. So the purpose of all Vedas to attain Krishna consciousness, to go home back to Godhead. So what is the duty of Brahmachari? Brahmachari study Vedas under a spiritual master. So you have to, Brahmachari, you have to study Vedas under a spiritual master, spiritual guru, because they are the realized soul. They can give you, they can show you right path. Many austerities and penances. So brahmacharis perform the many sacrifices. There are different types of sacrifices, different types of yagyas, different ways of devotional service. They perform according to Vedas under a spiritual master. They are trained in celibacy and menial services. They beg alms. They go to the outside world and they come back with the by begging alms. Why? This is the order given by spiritual master. So they completely surrender themselves unto the feet of spiritual masters. Whatever spiritual masters say, they follow it, either blindly or happily or sadly, but they follow it. Okay, and if spiritual master asks them to take the food, then only they take prasada. Otherwise, if spiritual master forget to ask them to take prasadam, they will never take prasadam. Okay, so these are the different instructions followed by brahmachari. Take food only under master's order. They will not take food without master's order. Grihastha, they do different sacrifices and charity according to time, place, and person. So, for Grihastha, charity is asked, given instruction by Lord Sri Krishna, but don't give money here and there without thinking to whom you are giving money. So, giving charity to right person, right time, and right place is very, very important. Then Grihastha sacrifices and charity according to time, place, and person. Then Vanaprastha lives retired life, tapasya. They do tapasya. So after retirement, Srila Prabhupada say that after 50, everyone should get retirement. And they start distributing the Krishna consciousness to everyone. You should visit door to door, do Krishna, do Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and ask them to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the betterment of life, so that they can believe. liberated and come back home, back to Godhead. So Vanaprastha is the retired life, doing tapasya. Then last is sannyasa. Since sannyasa is prohibited in Kali Yuga, Srila Prabhupada has prohibited that sannyasa is not for Kali Yuga people. So they can live Vanaprastha life, and if it is required for Krishna consciousness prachar or preaching, they can take sannyasa in certain conditions. Okay, and idam viditva implies one should understand the instructions of Krishna very, very sincerely, which those given in Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 and 8. Idam viditva means what? There are many instructions given by Krishna for us, for living entities, for Jivatma. So Lord Krishna has given many, many instructions to the Jivatma. The Jivatma should follow all of them. So given in chapter number 8 and chapter 7 and 8, how? By hearing in the association of devotees. So these are all instructions you should understand in the association of devotees. If you are just reading it and there are chances you may interpret in a wrong way. So you should read and understand in the association of devotees always. How not academic scholarship, mental speculation that I can read English, I can read Hindi, I can read so many languages. I have gone through so many books, so many Bhagavad Gita, so many Bhagavatam in my life. So this is the wrong way of interpretation. Okay, that's why Srila Prabhupada has always emphasized that his devotees should go the association of devotees and they should read Bhagavad Gita under them and follow so that they cannot misinterpret it. Great fortune to understand middle 6 chapters in the association of devotees. So middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita talks about Bhakti Yoga. So first 6 chapters talked about 1 to 6 is Jnana Yoga, and middle is talks about 1 to 6 chapters talks about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. So in Bhagavad Gita, in this way it is divided in 3 parts. First 6 Karma Yoga, middle 6 talks about Bhakti Yoga, and last 6 talks about Jnana Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So we should understand it in the association of devotees. So it is a great fortune if you understand all these scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the association of devotees. Why fortune? Results of all such activities are automatically achieved simply by Krishna consciousness. Okay, so what will happen? What is the result? You will attain Krishna consciousness. What you have to do? You have to associate with devotees. You have to read and understand in the association of devotees. Then you will understand the right meaning of these things. Okay. So this is the meaning of idam viditva. Then relishing study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Shraddha, sadhu sang, bhajan kriya, anarth nivritti, nishtha, ruchi and ashakti, bhava and prem. Okay, the last is transfer to Krishna's abode, eternal happiness. So in Krishna's abode, there is eternal happiness. It never reduced. So in Krishna's abode, everyone is happy. So how to reach to the Golok Vrindavan Dham, that is a spiritual world, belongs to Krishna. Shraddha. One should have Shraddha. Little faith in Bhagavad Gita. So if you are reading Bhagavad Gita, you should have faith. Because this Bhagavad Gita is nothing but in the form of Krishna only. It is all the words are given by Krishna. It's all Bhagavad Gita, entire Bhagavad Gita has come out from the Sri Mukh of Krishna. So this is the Krishna Gita. Krishna has said something, told something, and that has become Gita. So it is Gita for us. It is Geet for us. We should all have faith in Krishna's words. Then only we can reach to Krishna's planet. So we should have Shraddha. Then sadhu sang. So if you are understanding, if you are reading Bhagavad Gita under some spiritual master, then only you can understand the right meaning of Bhagavad Gita. Learn from only qualified devotees, not from mental speculators. That this is Bhagavad Gita, I have understood Bhagavad Gita, I have read so many Bhagavad Gitas. So be away from all these kind of people. So Shraddha and then Sadhu Sang. Sadhu Sang is very important. If you are in Sadhu Sang, slowly your miseries will go away. Then comes Bhajan Kriya and Anartha Nivritti. Service in association dispels all misgivings about God. Okay, so if you are doing Bhajan Kriya, if you are doing bhajan, whether you understand the meaning or not, if you are doing bhajan, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. If you are chanting this Mahamantra repeatedly, automatically your anartha will go away. So the main problem of this life is anartha. So many anarthas are there. When you are doing bhajan kriya, when you are chanting Hare Krishna, there are many people will come. What you are doing? You are wasting your time. Go and earn some money, have some property, do this, do that. All these things, all rubbish things. So people will try to go away from reading Bhagavad Gita or association of devotees. So people, there are peoples. Okay, then you should have nishtha. Okay, so if you should have nishtha. I will read Bhagavad Gita, I will understand. So you should have right nishtha also. If you don't have nishtha, you cannot do. Utsahat dhairya. So you should have utsaha always. You should have dhairya, patience. If you don't have dhairya, don't have patience, you cannot read and understand Bhagavad Gita. So before distributing, you should read many times and understand Bhagavad Gita. And if you have any question, ask the spiritual master. Okay, so spiritual masters are the self-realized soul. They can guide you to the right path. Then you should have ruchi and asakti. You should have ruchi. Realization the study attains a state of feeling always Krishna consciousness. You should have asakti. You have to attach to Krishna. You should have to attach to Bhagavad Gita. You should attach to Bhagavatam. You should attach to Chaitanya Charitamrita. I will read Bhagavad Gita. I will understand. You should have asakti. Asakti, like if you have asked someone has asakti with samosa, some will have asakti with jalebi. I like jalebi. So you want to have many times jalebi. Similarly, you should have asakti with Bhagavad Gita. If you have asakti with Bhagavad Gita, automatically you have Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajan Kriya, Nishtha. Okay, so if you have that attachment, automatically you will try to go to temple, read Bhagavad Gita, do chanting, associate with. So this all requires asakti. Then if you have asakti, the original prema and bhav is created in your heart. Once that prema and bhav is created, falls completely in love with Krishna. And that is the highest perfectional stage. That is the highest perfectional. Prema is the ultimate stage, where you actually love Krishna. You are totally dependent on Krishna. Like Radharani is totally dependent on Krishna. So Radharani's prem is an actual prem in Krishna consciousness. So if you want to reach to the highest perfectional state, you should have that kind of love which Radha has for Krishna. So Radharani is the true lover of Krishna because Radharani is totally dependent on Krishna. She doesn't need wind, she doesn't need food, she doesn't need anything. She is not at all interested in anything except Krishna. So if she has the name of Krishna, she is happy. If she doesn't have the name of Krishna, she will not be happy. So this prema will transfer you to the ultimate Krishna's abode, eternal happiness. That is the eternal happiness. So this is the 8.28. So the 8th chapter of the Gita is almost exclusively concerned with the moment of death, moment of the jivas passing from the material body. So at the beginning of the chapter, Arjuna asked Krishna 8 questions. Arjuna inquired, what is the 8th question? What is Brahman? So Brahman is living entity. Krishna is Brahman. Living entities are also Brahman. The Krishna is Parabrahman and living entities are only Brahman. So living entities are Anu and Krishna is Vibhu. Who is the Adhyatma? The presiding deity of the body. The eternal nature of the living entity is to be the servant of Supreme Lord. So we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So we should serve Krishna. Third question, what is karma? Is karma fruitive or spiritual activity? Action. So Krishna says action that pertains to the development of material bodies of the living entities. So everyone is born here is entitled to do something to feed the stomach. But Krishna is suggesting that you should feed your stomach, but always remember Krishna. You should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So you should practice daily, every time, every moment for Krishna consciousness by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then fourth question, what is Adhibhut, the material manifestation? The physical nature which is constantly changing. That is known as Adhibhut. The material nature is always changing. And material nature belongs to three modes of material nature. That is goodness, passion, and ignorance. So whatever activity you do, it all belongs to these three modes of material nature. So if you do bhakti, if you perform devotional service, it looks like that you are performing in this material life, but you will be always away from these three modes of material nature. So those who are doing bhakti, it looks like they are doing the karma kanda, but they are away from the karma kanda. They are performing karma yoga. The karma which is attached with Krishna. Who is the Adhidev? Does Adhideva refer to the demigods, the universal form? The universal form of the Lord, which includes all demigods. What is Adhidev? The universal form of God, which includes all demigods. Then sixth and seventh question, who is Adhiyagya, the Lord of sacrifices? Where whoever he is, does he preside? Krishna himself is Adhiyagya. He resides in the heart of all living entities. So Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Whatever yajna, whatever austerities, whatever sacrifices he perform, it is all accepted by Krishna. Even if you are performing it for some demigod, Indra, Brahmaji, Shivaji, any demigods, if you are performing some particular yajna, it will be accepted by Krishna only. Why? Because all the demigods are top class Vaishnavas. Okay? They are always chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They are dependent on Krishna. So, if you are dependent on any particular demigod, if you are performing any sacrifice for any demigod, indirectly you are performing sacrifice for Krishna only. It is accepted by Krishna only. Then eighth question, how can those engaged in devotional service know Krishna at the time of death? By remembering Krishna at the time of death. So, if you have practiced throughout your life Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, if you have practiced chanting this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra throughout your life, so it is definite that at the end of life, when you are lying on the deathbed, you will remember Krishna. And that is the ultimate aim of this particular chapter number 8. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop over here. If you have any question, you can ask. So this is the end of chapter 8. Next time we'll start chapter 9. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। एनी क्वेश्चन? Okay, we'll stop here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.